we're seeing reports of flight delays following what is reportedly a major network-wide failure of the UK air traffic control computer system this morning. We've had a statement. It's from Loganair, the Scottish airline, and this is what it says. It says, there has been a network-wide failure of UK air traffic control computer systems this morning. Although we are hopeful of being able to operate most intra-Scotland flights on the... I'm going to leave that because we've heard from NATS and they control the air traffic control. NATS are saying that we are currently experiencing a technical issue and have applied traffic flow restrictions to maintain safety. Engineers are working to find and fix the fault. We apologise for any inconvenience this may cause. So that is from NATS, who control the air traffic control systems across the country. Again, they're saying we're currently experiencing a technical issue and have applied traffic flow restrictions to maintain safety. Engineers are working to find and fix the fault, and we apologise for any inconvenience that this may cause. NATS, National Air Traffic Services. Let's talk to Simon Calder. He's a travel journalist. Simon, let's start with what exactly is happening, and then we can explain what NATS is and why they're saying this.
OK, NATS is the National Air Traffic Service. They are based at Swanwick in Hampshire. They are absolutely crucial, of course, to air traffic control. They run the entire UK airspace system. And from the messages I am receiving from people in airlines, we have seen effectively the entire system shutting down. Now, there is no danger because the entire aviation system is designed to cope with a system like this, a situation like this. But what you will find is that immediately there is going to be absolute disruption, chaos spreading across Europe, because if you are on the ground at Heathrow or Gatwick, which are respectively the busiest single runway and the busiest two runway and busiest single runway airports in the world, there is very, very little slack in the system. So therefore, if you're being given a slot in a few hours' time, well, it's going to be very, very miserable. Meanwhile, of course, thousands of aircraft in the skies above Europe, hundreds of them heading to the UK. And what's going to happen with those aircraft? Well, some of them are getting down. If they were in the vicinity of the airfield, then they will be landing. But otherwise, you are going to start seeing aircraft either being held on the ground in airports such as Amsterdam, or indeed being diverted if they're on a longer flight. And that would typically be to a continental airport, might be to an Irish airport. But we are, of course, on one of the busiest days of the entire year. There are hundreds of thousands of people flying into the UK, loads of families coming in from the Mediterranean and beyond. And frankly, this is the last thing anybody needs. It will, at the very least, even if they get the fault fixed at the NATS headquarters at Swanwick in Hampshire in the next few minutes, it will have caused enough disruption for the system to be in disarray for certainly the rest of the day, possibly for further days in what's, again, a very, very busy week. So the last thing anybody needed, be reassured about safety. But if you're booked to fly out or indeed into the UK, well, be prepared for some serious disruption.
Simon, how does it work? Because we've had that statement from NATS that they are experiencing a technical issue. They've applied traffic flow restrictions to maintain safety. But I'm looking at Flight Radar, that the app that monitors flights. And there's a flight coming in from LAX into Heathrow right now. Behind it is one from Jersey. So it looks like they're landing. So yes. How is this working now? Are they going to stop people even from taking off before they come into our airspace?
Yeah, normally you have flights landing typically about every 90 seconds or so coming into Heathrow. And what they can do is they can switch away from the as it were, digital system and become much more analog. And you can bring the aircraft in safely. However, you are not going to be able to do it at the same rate that you would normally be able to bring those aircraft in. And for Heathrow, busiest two-runway airport in the world, for Gatwick in particular, they are, well, there's just so little slack in the system that even a bit of bad weather can cause massive problems. And if you're reducing the flow rate coming in, if you're keeping aircraft on the ground at those airports, well, I'm afraid it is going to be a very, very difficult Monday afternoon at exactly the time when people just want everything to work very smoothly.
OK, Simon, I'm watching still that Jersey flight about to land, another one from Vienna coming in, and then a 380 from Dubai. But all of those planes will have enough fuel to divert somewhere else, won't they?
Oh,
that diversion, would it be to somewhere within the country, or it would have to be outside of the UK airspace?
All aircraft have contingency fuel, so there is no possibility that there's going to be aircraft in the sky running out of fuel. Put that completely out of your mind, because it simply won't happen. They will declare a diversion, possibly to airports within the UK, but if airspace is stretched all the way across the UK, then I think you're going to see an awful lot of planes touching down in places like Amsterdam, in Paris, for example. But furthermore, a lot of aircraft which are due to take off to travel to the UK will simply not be going anywhere. They will stay on the ground. That then builds delays. And of course, here we are, kind of lunchtime on a bank holiday Monday. You really should be getting the aircraft into the air, down safely again. And that is not going to be happening, I'm afraid. So I'm, like you are, trying to assess what the impact on the system will be. But I'm afraid experience tells us that something like this is not going to end quickly, and it's going to be very messy. But I absolutely stress people will be safe.
Simon, if you had slot delays, what would be a slot delay that would cause a real problem? Are we talking an hour? Are we talking 5 hours, 10 hours? What would be a problem here?
Sure. Sure. Look, the kind of delays that I'm hearing about are that there are problems with flights being delayed until perhaps 2, 3, 4 hours. But of course, they've all got to be coordinated with what is happening across Europe. And air traffic control anyway in Europe is really, really stretched at the moment. And once the system starts getting out of sync, I'm afraid it takes an awful lot to get everything back to where it should be. I haven't yet seen any cancellations happening, but unfortunately, once you get long delays, then the cancellations are really not going to be very far away, because the airlines simply are going to find that their pilots, their planes, their passengers are out of position. They haven't got the scope to finish the day's program of flying. And I'm afraid that's when you get flights cancelled. And that is going to cause serious disruption for the rest of the afternoon into the evening. And I dare say there will be many thousands of people waking up tomorrow morning not where they want to be.
So what happens? What is your advice to someone? Let's say you're at the airport or you're setting off for the airport. What should people be doing now? Should you just carry on or call people?
Sure. You have to assume that your flight is going to be going normally. That's all you can do. The airlines are absolutely responsible for your welfare. So if your flight is heavily delayed, more than 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on the length of the flight, then you are going to be entitled to a meal. If you get delayed overnight, the airline has to find you a hotel. Now, it's easier to say what the rules are for them to be properly enforced. And I dare say there will be a lot of people sleeping on airport floors tonight. I hope I am wrong about that. But then they've got to get you to your destination as soon as they possibly can, even if that's on somebody else's flight. And this looks as though it could cost the airlines millions of pounds in cash. And of course, it's not their responsibility. It's at the moment looking like something that has happened to Nats. And we will find out in due course what exactly it is. But meanwhile, my goodness me, my thoughts are with anybody trying to travel today All you can do is hope for the best, but be prepared for disruption.